Hey guys, Ash here coming at you today, Watcher of Realms. How y'all doing? I'm in panic mode right now because we only have a couple days until Halloween, and Dede is waiting on his costume, right? My son's gonna be Zelda. He's so into Zelda. I talk about this a lot on my Raid channel, but in case I haven't mentioned it, man, we beat Tears of the Kingdom together. It took us like 8 months since the game was released. We beat it. It was awesome, honestly. I had never played previous Zeldas except for like way back in the day, like Zelda Dangerous to Go Alone, Take This, Master Sword Zelda 1. Anyway, guys, I say all that to say that I am going to be Prince Sidon, and I'm still waiting on my cosplay. I ordered this thing like a month ago. I was going to be like Dad of the Year over there anyway, I digress. What about you guys? I'm not like super into Halloween, but it really got reinvigorated in me when I had a kiddo, you know? Now I guess I am super into Halloween if I'm gonna dress up in freaking cosplay, you know? Anyway, guys, I digress. Today we're gonna talk about healers. We're talking about healers in the game. Now, there's a lot of good healers and support. Healers and support, I should say. Now, it's kind of weird how they classify some heroes in this game, guys, because one of my favorite supports who I was gonna put on the list is actually gonna be Laurel, but she's a mage. She's classified as a mage, even though for me, it's all about rage regen, which feels more supporty to me, but I'm gonna stick with the actual classification of healers in the game on today's list. And I hate to do this, we're gonna rank it from 10 to 1, but I do have a two-way tie at number 10, so apologies. I don't like ties, they're kind of cheap. I just gotta choose one. So Lightlock used to be the GOAT, then they nerfed him, and he's still pretty good. He's still decent, right? He's got attack-based healing to one ally, so technically, yes, he is a healer, he's a support, but basically on his auto-cast ult, right? Its auto-cast restores HP equal to 100% of the hero's healing multiplier for allies, and then deals damage, magic damage equal to 50% attack to their surrounding enemies. So he used to be like total cheat code status when it comes to Gear Raid 1. He's not quite that anymore, but he's still very competent. So I have him tied at number 10 with the only rare on the list. It's Autumn. Now, Autumn is, if you don't have another hero that we're going to talk about in a little bit, she's a great option for people out there. She's a buffer. You can see her range right now. She's a 5-cost hero in the game. She has attack-based healing to all allies in range on her basic. And then she has crit damage increase to allies, and when using the gold maple boon, aka her ultimate, right, she'll grant crit rate increase to allies within range as well by 10%. So she's boosting your damage and, you know, some heals all on a 5-cost from a rare. You can do a lot worse than Autumn, right? I think if I had to personally choose between the two, I'd probably actually give it to Autumn over Lightlock. But Lightlock's really special too with his damage, so it's a lot different. They're tough. You can see how it's tough to choose. Okay, at number 9 is going to be Miden. So Miden is a hero that admittedly I have not invested in, but her kit actually looks really, really solid to me, right? She's a 15-cost, AoE heals, magic resistance. She has on her basic HP-based healing to to 3 allies in range. I'm trying to buffer up myself, right? To 3 allies in range, which is really solid on the basic. She's dispelling all debuffs from all allies in range and restores HP to 90% of the hero's multiplier for them for 10 seconds. So just a great raw healer, plus a little buffage in there too, right? So on Holy Shelter, guys, this is really cool. The healed targets will be inflicted. Inflicted sounds like the wrong kind of verb here, with decrease increase. So increase defense for 4 seconds. That's gonna give them plus 10% defense, which is really strong. So she's got AoE heals, she's got really nice heals on the ult, and then she's got defense increase as well. So really, really solid kit there. Just support, healage, sustainability, right? Coming in at number 8 is gonna be one that you guys give me a little hate on every time I mention him, but I'm a fan of Ezrin, man. I'm the only one out there. I'm the only one. To be fair, his scores aren't that bad. I don't know why people hate on this dude. Well, I do know why, right? Attack-based healing to 1 ally in range on his basic. People love that AoE when it comes to heals. But the cool thing about this dude is, first of all, he does heal, like, you know, nicely. His attack scales pretty well, right? He has a ultimate, grants 220% attack-based healing to 1 ally, and also grants them the hero's talent effect lasting for 4 seconds, okay? So far, so good, but still single target, right? But check this out on his 2 passives, right? The hero can cast Verdant, Rejuvenation, and Enlightened Breath on allies beyond his attack range, albeit with healing effects reduced by 60. That is a magical passive, guys. It's very, very handy, okay? Whenever an ally's HP drops below 30%, immediately grants a 200% attack-based healing to them. This effect can be triggered one time every 40 seconds. So the cool thing about this dude, it doesn't matter where they are. They could be behind him 10 miles away on the battlefield. He's still going to heal them, right? Range doesn't matter on this dude because of those passives, right? So I really love it. It gives you the ability to have a tank like off in the corner on there's so many maps this comes into handy with, or a DPS on a platform, for example, and he'll just cover them. He'll cover them like way outside of range. You can get by with one Ezrin sometimes rather than running two healers, and saving up a whole hero's position in your lineup is extremely valuable. So I'm a big fan of this dude. I really am. I don't know why he gets the hate. I think the hate is undeserved on Ezrin, with all apologies. He was my first healer, so maybe I'm a little biased, but I try not to be in these videos. I try to give you my raw, real assessment, not trying to bring any biases in there, and I actually think that Ezrin is fantastic. Coming in at number 7 is gonna be Carnelian. So Carnelian is very interesting. She's a little bit of a complex hero here. She's a cultist, also chaotic. Her talent is after the hero's healing wave reach an ally without soul essence 7 times, it gives them soul essence, okay? So she's doing these things. She has attack-based healing, doing these things. That's great analysis there, Ash. I mean, you're not gonna get that on every watcher of Rum's YouTube channel. This hero, she does the things. Next. She does more things over here. Okay, so she grants soul essence to all allies with HP below 30% in range. And then she also has physical damage and magic damage reduction built in 20% on both of those abilities, okay? So these soul essences, what they do is, again, they're granted to allies with low HP, but they bounce, right? They bounce. It will bounce to another nearby ally up to 1 time. However, its healing effect will be decreased by 40%. So essentially what she's doing is she's bouncing these things around, right? But she grants them also unyielding, okay? She's doing a lot here with these soul essences. Unyielding is essentially unkillable in this game, right? For raid players out there. When receiving fatal damage, the bearer consumes the soul essences and becomes unyielding for 5 seconds, okay? And then she has, when a healing wave reaches an ally with a soul essence, it deals 40% AoE damage to up to 7 enemies around that ally. So this is why I said her kit is a little complex, right? I mean, I guess it's not that crazy, but you know what I'm saying? Like, the soul essences, they'll be triggered automatically, or they'll be bouncing. When they'll be bouncing, the effect will be mitigated. They also grant unyielding. They also deal AoE damage, right? So a lot going on here. It can be, I don't want to say challenging, but sometimes the setup, making sure that everything's positioned properly. Position matters a lot for her, right? But she can be a very, very, very good healer and add some damage as well, not to mention the unkillables. She's bringing a lot to the table. Coming in at number 6, you might ask, why is she number 7 and she's so good, Ash? Well, it's because the rest of the ones that we talk, the heroes that we talk about, they're all incredibly good. Number 6 is Hollow. Again, I feel weird putting Hollow at number 6. I was so late to the Hollow party, guys. And let me tell you, I mean, she made the content so much easier in this game. Instant progression. If you have not invested, and you have her, invest. She's all about the rage regen. And I heard that her attack-based healing was just like so negligible that it's not even worth talking about. But with the ultimate, when triggered, it increases the hero's healing multiplier by 25% for 20 seconds, and the hero can heal 1 more target because it's only single healing on the basic. Maybe my expectations were so low that I was super surprised, but she can kind of carry, not as the main healer, but in an area where you just need some spot heals, right? Where you're gonna need it anyway because you're gonna be around your highest DPS because she's all about that rage regen. When Light of Bliss is activated, it recovers 0.6 rage for all allies in range every second. Every second we can get that up, book that up as well. Very, very cool hero. On A1, each healing restores 1% rage cap as well on A1. You get rage cap minus 100 on A3, and then on fully enhanced A5, each cast of Light of Bliss increases the efficiency of accumulating rage by 15% until the battle ends, up to 5 stacks. What a boss rage regen hero out there. If you don't believe me, invest and you will not regret it. Number 5 is going to be Sadie, guys. So I have Sadie. I actually have her awakened at 1. I forgot what she gives that at A1 though. Song of Courage applies both buffs simultaneously. Actually, that's really solid, right? Well, you don't know what they do yet, but I'm going to tell you. So her talent. It grants physical damage reduction and magic damage reduction by 15% to all allies in range. Well, hell, that's a great start. Just permanently everybody in range gets the damage reduction, right? She has a great HP-based heal on her basic to all allies in range. She has nice range as well. On her ult, damage mitigation. She's all about buffs, damage mitigation, big AoE heals, right? And that's what we want on our healers, on our supports, right? After the ultimate ends, she's randomly granting one of the following buffs to allies in range, restoring their HP, or max HP for every second, or in 20% again, or you can do them all at the same time, again, if you get her A1 there. It also resists incoming damage 1 time, which is very nice to have as well on her auto second passive. What is her A5? I'm curious now here. When taking damage on 3, increases rage regen by 50% for 3 seconds. Okay. During the effect of Song of the Courage, increases the healing multiplier by 100%. Sadie, very, very good. Number 4, guys, is going to be Vortex. Man, Vortex is still my man. He's still my go-to. He is basic as they get, really, to be honest with you. He's not bringing any buffs, unless you consider a shield a buff, which I guess you could technically call it a buff. But and rather than reading his entire kit, I think that probably you guys are probably familiar with this dude because he's one of the most used, I feel like, healers from the people that I talk to in the game. And mainly because of his absolutely insane range. His range is so big, he can cover half the battlefield, right? Again, it's kind of getting the utility of 2 heroes in 1 when we talk about Vortex. Plus, he's a great healer, and he's got the shield as well, right? So he synergizes very well with heroes that do well under a shield. And there's even artifacts that heroes under shields do more damage, right? So he's one of the better shielders and just all-out healers with a massive range. He is still one of my go-to healers out there as an epic too. Not the last epic on our list though. Number 3, Leia. She's a healer. And she's a lord as well, right? So she's a lord in Watcher Lord. Obviously, it was really tough ranking the top 3, honestly, guys. It could be a 3-way tie. I feel like it's like a tier at the very top, the S tier, and I feel like all 3 of these are very, very incredibly good. Some of the most wanted heroes in the entire game. Let me know if you have one of them, by the way. So attack-based healing to 3 allies in range on the basic. It restores, we got rage regen on the ult, right? And then rage regen over time after that. And then on the passives, we have damage increase to all allies on the first passive, which is beautiful, right? Second passive, when they use their ultimates, allies, we're also healing them just when they use their ultimates, right? So, man, she's got a lot going on, right? Even her talent, every 3 basic attacks increases the next basic attack healing by 50%. She's doing so much. Rage regen, damage increase, just straight out healing. Man, I don't have Leia? Come on, man. I don't have Leia, but boy, I wish I did. Damage increase provided by Celestial Ascendance lasts for 5 more seconds after the ultimate ends on her A1. On her A5, when the ultimate's triggered, the damage increase applied by Celestial Ascendance to allies increases by 15%. Coming in at number 2 is going to be Eloin. So I am a very, very lucky Eloin owner, and she has... well, she's made a big impact on my account. She's amazing. She's got 3 attack-based heals on her basic. Her Grace of Nature, her ultimate, it dispels all debuffs and it does a massive heal over time, right? So it's close to basically just a complete heal to everybody in her range. She also summons a wood elf, which is really handy. This wood elf that she summons, you can only have 1 at a time, but you place them on a melee, a ground unit square, and they heal in a 4x4 tile section, right? So what that allows you to do is kind of like Ezrin, heal outside of her purview, outside of her range, outside of her radius, right? So that's really, really handy as well. Nice heals there. And then rage restoration as well. Restores rage every 5 seconds for all allies, equal to 1% of their rage caps. Just straight up all allies. Very powerful. I'm sure a lot of people would rank her number 1. Again, as I said before, with all 3 of these, Leia, Eloin, and yes, Dolores at number 1. I think they're all absolutely incredible. Dolores gets the top spot here in support champions in the game at number 1. Now, you guys know I'm a big Dolores fan. Who's not, honestly? She's compared to a Leia, compared to an Eloin, compared to a Sadie. She's rather simple, but simple doesn't mean bad. Simple in her case means the best. I'm including her at number 1 because even like attack-based healing to all allies in range, you know, it's not a big heal. It's really small, probably the smallest heal that we've spoken about today. So she's not really going to be a healer, but you know what? I take it all back. I take that back. You know why? Because I've heard other content creators talk about this and they quickly brush aside the heal. She's not going to be able to heal like tanks taking damage or fighters taking damage or anybody taking a bunch of active damage. But what she can do is she can spot heal with this A1 really well. Like if a target's going to take some ancillary damage here or there, or even if you just need to throw her in to like heal somebody up over the course of 10 or 20 seconds in the middle of a battle, she can get it done because a heal is a heal at the end of the day. Another bit of profundity for you guys. A heal is a heal. Wow. On the ultimate, she does things. Applies a 30% inspiration to other allies in range for 14 seconds. So what is inspiration? Well, it's only the best buff in the game and she's got it. Unlike anybody else, right? So anybody else on our list, and this is why she comes in at number 1, just how unique she is. She increases everybody's attack around her equal to her attack. That can be unbelievably just, I don't know what to say about it. It's just insane, right? I mean, she can double up your DPS's attack, potentially, or just add a ton to it. And there's nothing like that. And the ability that she can bring to the table when it comes to clearing content that otherwise you would not have been able to because of the burst damage potential she can add to another hero's ultimate is second to none. And she's such a big part of so many end game, mid game, heck, even early game teams. And she's so unique, so versatile, used in the arena, used in all gear raids. I mean, you can use her pretty much everywhere. Maybe with, you know, everywhere. Yeah, Dolores, man. I think that because, and like, listen, if you have Dolores and then you have 1 or 2 healers on the list, you're good. You know, that's how strong I feel that she is. And the best part is, again, she is, guys, she's an epic. She's an epic hero. It's crazy. The inspiration effect of graceful dancing increases by 20% on her A1. Really good hero to awaken here. During the effect of graceful dancing, increases the healing multiplier by 10. And then when graceful dancing ends, increases the chance of increasing rage to 80%. Again, very good hero. One of my hard carries on my account, guys. You let me know who I snubbed, who you disagree with, all that stuff in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, take care, guys.